So here's another new partnership announcement that I do want to talk about in regard to Onyx. Let me explain what I mean by this, even though nothing I say is financial advice and I'm not telling anyone to do anything. So did you know that when it comes to Onyx, they recently announced a partnership with something called Third Web? Now, people like to say, who cares about this? Well, let's take a look at it a little bit deeper, right? This partnership is actually in regard to Goliath. This partnership with Third Web is going to bring native infrastructure and account abstraction to Goliath. One of the key things that they have enabled is streamlined developer tools, and also we take a look at a seamless integration in regard to the wallet side of things. And also something else that they see have been enabled through this is gasless XCN transactions. So when I take a look at something like this, I find it to be pretty unique that they even thought about this. I mean, come on, right? I mean, who was like asking Onyx to have a partnership like this? Not very many people, but when I saw that nonetheless, I was just pretty like, I guess, happy to see that, because Onyx is at least still doing, I guess, some activity. Other projects out there, they just don't care anymore. And now some people would probably be asking me, right? Okay, what's Third Web? Like, why would Onyx even have a quote-unquote partnership with them? Now, allegedly, Third Web, their kind of mission, at least what it seems like to me, is to build the next generation of internet products. Now, what I find very surprising is that actually, you know, something like Base follows them, and Base is Coinbase's layer 2. We also take a look at Avalanche follows them, and Avalanche is one of the most popular layer 1 blockchains out there. I take a look at Optimism, you know, one of the most popular Ethereum layer 2s out there, and surprisingly, even Polygon follows them. So yeah, you know, I just thought it was really cool. Allegedly, from what I can see, it's based in San Francisco. So yeah, you know, I mean, seems like a pretty cool victory to me when it comes to what Onyx did recently. And I think, again, that showcases the serious nature of it, because how would that have been possible, again, that partnership, if they don't take things seriously? But that's just my perspective, basically. But at the same time, though, I think this right here shows effort. I think it shows dedication. And also, I think it showcases the perseverance. A lot of other projects out there in kind of Onyx's position, I would assume they just wouldn't really care anymore. They would probably just stop updating, which I can't blame them, because some of them probably, you know, just don't really care anymore. What can I do about that? But at the same time, I just don't see it here. People like to tell me Onyx is irrelevant if, let's say, hypothetically, the market picks up again. But my reaction is this. Okay, sure, Onyx isn't the biggest project out there, let alone even the biggest project within its own niche. It's not, right? I mean, that position within its own niche does belong to Ripple. Second, of course, being Stellar. But I'm just saying, Onyx is not top 1. It's not top 2 either within its own niche. But does it really matter, though? To me, not really, because if I take a look at it, okay, Onyx within this space is currently ranked 144th in terms of market cap. Okay, not the best, not the worst either. Keep in mind, when it comes to Onyx, it currently has a bigger market cap than Arweave. Like, Arweave is ranked 165th. I mean, do a lot of people think Arweave is cooked? It's one of the most popular projects out there, actually, that's focused on data storage, primarily speaking. And a lot of people, again, would say that Arweave is not cooked. So if something that's ranked 165th isn't considered cooked, then why would Onyx suddenly be considered cooked? Yeah, I just don't get that. But even besides that point, I mean, the thing about Onyx is this. People like to say that, oh, Onyx is focused on a quote-unquote out-of-date narrative, like in a sense where they think that the narrative that Onyx is focused on is already like expired. But my kind of thing is this. I mean, if I think about it, again, Onyx is focused on global trade and finance. It's focused on that niche, primarily speaking. So if that narrative is bad for whatever reason, does that mean that Ripple and Stellar, which is basically focused on that niche as well, does it mean they're cooked? A lot of people would say no. So then, yeah, I just don't get it. Like, why would Onyx randomly be focused on a quote-unquote cooked narrative? But besides that point, though, it's not like it's not doing anything fundamentally. It actually is. I mean, again, could you imagine the time, the energy, and the effort needed to actually launch the mainnet of Goliath? It's not that easy. That's the thing. Sure, people like to say, well, who needs that? There's already a layer one blockchain out there that's focused on global trade and finance. Like, for instance, if they just want to kind of reference just a very famous player within this space, like in the case of Stellar, let's say, the Stellar blockchain, we already know it's very popular, right? People like to say, well, if that exists, then who cares about this? Like, it's not going to do anything. But if projects don't try, I don't know how they would ever know what it could very well be. Like, for instance, if Volvo never tried making cars, how would they know what it could be? That's the thing, right? So what happens? Car companies just don't try anymore because there's already Toyota, Volvo, and so on. That doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, there's still car brands out there that try. Like, for instance, take a look at Rivian. That's trying, right? Are they going to say, like, oh, there's Toyota, we shouldn't try anymore? Well, how does that make sense? It's like, for instance, the Rivian R2, arguably the competitor to the Model Y. If they don't try with the Rivian R2, how would they ever know what it could very well be? That's the thing. So that's just kind of my mindset sometimes. Like, for instance, I don't necessarily view it as such a bad thing if a project is trying. I just like the effort. That's it. Now, people like to say, well, when it comes to Onyx, it's still over 5 times lower than $1 billion in terms of market cap. Yeah, sure, we saw that last year, but the market isn't doing the best. What's going to happen? Onyx is going to go on an independent rally of its own? I don't think so. It's not a small project, right? It's not a micro cap. It just can't randomly do that if the market sentiment weren't to change in a massive way. It needs a change in the market sentiment in a pretty massive way in order to hypothetically even, I think maybe in a hypothetical scenario, come anywhere close to where it once was last year, which were over 5 times lower than that. But I don't mind because I'm just waiting anyways. But as long as I'm waiting, and in the meantime while I'm waiting, I want to see the projects that I'm a fan of at least do something. That's it. Because if a project doesn't do anything and it's just kind of just chilling, I suppose, sometimes it could hypothetically become a little bit irrelevant. A lot of these projects are community driven. Take a look at, for instance, XCN with around almost 147,000 holders, which is kind of surprising even seeing that currently, but I'm just saying. With that many holders, I'm assuming there is a massive community when it comes to that. And people like to say, well, no one cares. Well, if no one cares, why is there that many holders? Again, almost 147,000. Like some stadiums, some arenas, they can fit nowhere close to that. Some of them. So that's really impressive in my opinion. When it comes to Onyx, people like to say, yeah, it's not doing good, but again, a lot of projects out there are not doing good, but I still have the dedication, I still have the conviction. I don't have to though, but I'm just personally doing it anyways. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for watching. I hope you all have a very nice day, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. It's been Lee the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.